Excel 2016, Module 4, Part 9. This is Sparklines. So today we're going to be looking into Sparklines. What a Sparkline is, it's a one-cell chart. So we're going to go ahead and go back into our Backspace workbook. And this time we want to go over to the Financial Summary worksheet. And I want you to scroll up so that you can see cells C5 through C10. We are going to be looking at a trend in the growth of production for each of these products. But instead of creating a nice fancy chart like we have here, next to it, we are going to do a one-cell chart. It does not have access labels, it does not have grid lines, it does not have titles. It just simply has either the line or the bars that indicate the trend in that product. So I do see these used sometimes in executive systems, for example, an Excel-based dashboard. Perhaps the owner of a business is looking to see what's going on in the accounts receivable, which is the amount of money a customer owes them. How many of those dollars are over 90 days old? They might want to look at that and see, is that dollar amount going up or down? And if it is in fact going up, then they might want to try to determine, are we extending terms to people we should not be? Or is there some other reason that our customers are not paying? And so they can look at that real quick snapshot trend line and see some basic information. Okay? So that's what these Sparklines are used for. They're very quick and easy to create, and there's not a lot of editing options with them once you create them. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to select the range where we want to place the Sparklines. So we are going to start out in C5 through 10. That is where we want those Sparklines to be placed. Then you're going to go to your Insert tab, and you'll notice there is a Sparkline group, but as we are limited in formatting, we are also limited in the choices. There are only 3. So today we are going to choose the column Sparkline. And you can see there's only 2 pieces of information that are needed. This first option says, where is the data located? This is the data that I'm going to be charting. We have already given it the location where the Sparklines are to be placed. We want Sparklines placed in these cells. So with the cursor in the data range, we're going to go over to our projected production worksheet, and we are going to select the data. You do not need to select row labels or column headings because no labeling is going to be included on the Sparklines. So you're only going to select the data itself. So we're going to choose B5 all the way over to K10. Once you have both the source of the data for the chart as well as the location of the chart, you're going to click OK, and it creates for us the Sparklines. Now the way the Sparklines are initially set up is that we are going to be editing them as a group. So any changes that you were to make such as a style or colors. Or in a minute, we'll look at the axis information. That would be changing the entire group of all 6 of your sparklines. We'll see in a little while how you can change that and modify each one individually. So let's look at how the Sparkline works. What it does is it takes the top value, which you can see the top values here next to them. That top value gets a column, a column that is the height of the cell. And then it scales it back based on the values on the projected production worksheet. It creates each individual row by itself. So even though 6,000 is higher than 4,000, they both fill up the entire cell at this end because it picks the highest number, 4,000. That becomes 100% and it scales it back. If I don't want it to do that, if I wanted these to be proportionate to each other, then I could change that top axis number so that instead of looking at the top value on that individual row, they would all use the same number. So that's the first change we're going to make. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up to our Sparkline Design Tool tab, and we are going to go to the Access drop-down arrow. You'll notice you can change the minimum. You can also change the maximum. We're going to change that top value and say instead of doing it automatically, I want you to use a specific value. And we're going to come in here and type that value as 6,000. Notice now all of those grid lines automatically changed so that they were proportionate to that top number. Okay, now the last thing we might want to do is we might want to format them slightly different so that they were maybe different colors, different styles. And if we want to do that, we need to come up here and choose this ungroup number, or excuse me, option. When I ungroup them, now when I select one, I'm only formatting that one. So we're going to go down after we've ungrouped. We're going to go to C6 and we're going to change the style. We're going to use these style options so that we can change some of the colors. We want you to find the Sparkline Style Accent 2. Darker 25%. Okay, so when you hover over them, you see the names. You want to be very careful with your homework and make sure you're hovering over the options so that you get the correct number and percentage. Next, we're going to go down to C7. So notice now it's allowing us to change the formatting of each individual one because we ungrouped them. So for this one, again, we're going to go to Styles and we're going to choose Style Accent 4. And we want not darker or lighter. So we just want the one that says Style Accent 4, no dark or light. Next, we'll click on C8. And again, we'll go to our styles. And we're going to choose Sparkline Accent 6. No dark or light. So we want the third one down in the last column. In C9, we are going to choose, again, the style, and we're going to choose the one that says Sparkline Style Dark Number 1. Okay. And then in C10, we are going to choose Sparkline Style Colorful Number 2. You'll notice now that each sparkline is colored individually. So again, originally, when they're all selected, they are grouped. If you wanted to go back and make changes to all of them together, such as changing that top access number, you can regroup them using this option. If they're grouped together and you want to enter or edit them individually, you need to ungroup them first. Our last work video in Module 4 is going to be covering the conditional formatting technique called data bars.